What's up, guys? Got another UFC video here today. It's going to be on the UFC Fight Night card, Bermudez versus Korean Zombie, which is UFC Fight Night 104. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started here, guys. I'm going to go ahead and be doing my picks for the Fight Pass prelims only. Obviously, as you can see by the title of the video. So I decided to do the videos earlier again. Haven't done them earlier in a while. Usually I release these videos on Friday and it's on the whole card, and it's, you know, kind of like quick picks. This last week that just passed, the Denver card, you know, the Shevchenko card, I did pretty good though. 8 out of 12 of my picks. The first 4 fights, you know, completely lost on those picks, but after that, you know, went on that 8 pick win streak or whatever. So I ended up with 8 and 12, and I did win money on DraftKings, so you know that's always good. So I'm hoping for another profitable day or week this time with this card right here on DraftKings. But yeah, let's go ahead and get started here, guys. Let's go ahead and start with the first fight: Daniel Jolly versus Khalil Rountree Jr. Don't know too much about Daniel Jolly. Only saw his fight against Sirkunov. Seems to be a striker. Not too impressed by him. He got finished in the first round by Sirkunov, but obviously Sirkunov's a monster. But he seems to be pretty much a striker, and he's fighting against, finally, you know, a fellow striker. Finally, Khalil here, you know, gets to fight someone with, you know, someone with not good wrestling skills, someone with not really good jiu-jitsu skills. So pretty much someone that's going to be able to stand and bang with him, and this is how this guy wins his fights. Khalil Rountree, really good striker, tons of power in everything he throws. This guy just has a lot of power, and also good striking himself. So this should be a fun fight. Should stay on the feet, and I think a finish is gonna happen from either side here. So, you know, if you like Daniel Jolly's style, maybe you go with him. He is coming off kind of a long layoff. Hasn't fought since 2015. Rountree fought, I think, September 2016 or something like that. Either way, it was like, you know, over June 2016 though, for sure. So, you know, he's been a little bit more active than Jolly. I don't know where Jolly's been. Haven't even, like I said, don't really know too much about this guy because we haven't really seen him fight much. You know, the only fight we saw was that Sirkunov fight, and you know, he pretty much got smoked there. You know, he really didn't have much success in that fight. Got taken down a lot. Pretty much Jolly's weaknesses seem to be Rountree's weaknesses. So, you know, if Rountree improves his takedown defense just, you know, a little bit more, should be able to, you know, win his fights. And Jolly here, I don't even think he's gonna go for takedowns, but we haven't seen him in a while, and he already, you know, both these guys know each other's guys' weaknesses. You know, their takedown and, you know, submission defense. So I think they're both gonna be well prepared, and hopefully it just ends up being a nice stand-up fight. But yeah, anyways, guys, to give you guys my pick, I'm gonna go ahead and take Khalil Rountree here. He's just been a little bit more active, seen a little bit more from him. I like his style, a lot of power. It sucks though. When this guy's on the ground, he doesn't really know what to do. So, you know, looking at Jolly's page here, I think he does have a little bit of jiu-jitsu, or you know what, or that could have been some other page I was looking at. Let me just check here real quick. Yeah, so he has 1 win by submission, and that's a rear naked choke. Actually, there it is right there. 3rd degree black belt and world champion. And Kook Sulwan, I'm guessing that's some sort of striking technique. You know, some striking background right there. Purple belt in jiu-jitsu. So this guy does have a little bit of jiu-jitsu, and you know, it's kind of risky putting money on Rountree. So on DraftKings perspective, I'm gonna check out the prices first, and you know, whoever's cheaper might lean towards them a little bit. But as of right now, I'm going with Khalil Rountree Jr. because, you know, DraftKings prices haven't been released yet. So I'll take Khalil Rountree Jr. To win by, I'm gonna go ahead and say, 2nd round knockout. All right, so that's my pick there, guys. So now for the featured fight on the Fight Pass prelims, we got Alex Morono versus Nico Price. If you guys remember Nico Price, he fought not too long ago against Brandon Thatch, who is just obviously like the worst fighter on the ground. This guy, he ends up on the ground, and you know, he gets tapped out by pretty much everybody. So I mean, I don't know how much props I could really give Price there, you know, on his submission game. And just looking at the stats initially, I thought it was going to be kind of like a striker versus striker, and Thatch was going to be able to finally get a win here. You know, kind of like an easy win for him. But Nico Price, being an undefeated fighter, obviously was decent enough to actually be smart, take the fight to the ground, and ended up finishing Thatch on the ground pretty much. Alex Morono, this guy's a good striker. Not the best, not the best technically, but he throws a lot of volume, kind of a brawlish style, lots of hooks, lots of overhand rights, but he keeps the pressure on you. He's very tough, very durable, as you can see by his page here, aggression. So he's very aggressive. His grappling, you know, doesn't really have much grappling from what I've seen, but he does have some submission wins. So, you know, it seems like this guy could take the fight anywhere, but he really prefers to just stay on the feet and just, you know, kind of just win the fight on the feet pretty much. Let's see. This is weird. I didn't even know that. But this guy's a BJJ black belt and a Taekwondo black belt. Doesn't really look like any of those things. Kind of just looks like a good striker. Like I said, kind of a little bit brawlerish. Nico Price. Go ahead and check out his page real quick. His summary is hard. Seems to have a lot of knockout power. Lots of wins by knockout. Does have a jiu-jitsu purple belt. But like I said, haven't seen too much from this guy besides that Thatch fight, and obviously he did what he had to do in that fight to win. Took Thatch down. Thatch weakness. Morono's weakness. This guy, I'm not too sure what his weakness really is. I thought a better striker like Munstari was going to be able to beat him, and I remember picking Munstari in that fight, and he ended up losing. This guy was able to hurt him. So Morono has some decent power, throws a lot of volume. His boxing seems to be pretty good. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and go with Morono on this one, guys. Just haven't seen too much of Nico Price here. I don't know what to really think about that win against Thatch. He just took him down, and everybody who takes Thatch down pretty much taps him out. So, you know, I don't know what to make of that win. But Morono here, he beat Kyle Noak, even though it was a kind of a close fight. But, I mean, if you see the strikes here landed on Muntasri, did a lot of damage, 111 significant strikes. And it was a pretty fun fight. You know, they were going back and forth, and when Morono hurt him in that third round, he just really smashed them throughout the fight. And this guy can mix it up with elbows, you know, and declinch and whatnot. So, you know, this guy seems to just pretty much do it all. So I'm gonna go ahead and take Morono here, guys. Just seems to me that he just throws a lot more volume with his striking, and I think he's gonna be able to just mix it up a lot more. And I want to say this fight is gonna stay mostly on the feet. And I know Price has some power, but I think Morono here seems to have a pretty good chin, pretty durable, should be able to walk through it and land his shots and win the fight. So I'm going to go to take Morono to win the fight, and I think he's going to win by either decision or maybe a late finish, but I'll go ahead and say Morono by decision. Alright guys, so that's it for these picks on the Fight Pass prelims. Tomorrow I'm going to go ahead and try to do a video on the FS1 prelims on these fights right here. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, check out the link below on my DraftKings. Check out the link below in the description. My DraftKings link. You know, if you guys want to join some money, you know, join me on making some of this money. Let's pretty much make this money. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I've been doing pretty decent on DraftKings. Seems to me that I'm winning pretty much every card or every other card. So yeah, if you're good with your picks, check out DraftKings, and if you're already on DraftKings, well, you know, that's what's up. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't. If you're a new viewer, you just happen to be, you know, scrolling through and you saw this video and you watched it, subscribe. I always do UFC fight picks on the cards, on all the cards. So, you know, I'll always be giving out fight picks and whatnot. But yeah, subscribe if you haven't, like the video, and that's gonna be it, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.